Hello everybody, how's it going today? It's March the 14th, it's about 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on a Wednesday, and we're going to talk about Litecoin. But before we do that, we got to acknowledge where Bitcoin is currently standing. Bitcoin, I believe, is going to be uptrending to roughly the I'm hoping for the 8,500 to 8,800 range, because it's extremely oversold, as we've noticed right now on multiple time frames, right? And if we look at the RSI as well for this wave, we see kind of a channel forming, right? On, like, for example, the 1 hour chart, but the 45-minute chart is the one that's looking the best right now, of a chance of it breaking out. So as soon as it snaps out of this channel for the RSI, I firmly believe that we're going to get a slight uptrend on Bitcoin, right? So because Bitcoin has a chance to rally right now, well, Litecoin will most likely do the same thing as well. Well, good, congratulations if you guys actually got in on this particular trade right here. I drew my trend line support and resistance kind of just right around here. And in my last video, I mentioned, I mentioned that there was a good chance that we would retrace back to this region to get a double bottom, right? So make sure you guys also understand that this is pretty much how it is. If Bitcoin ends up correcting heavily further, then Litecoin is also going to correct heavily as well, right? Most coins are not immune to correction. When Bitcoin does initially start to downtrend, it'll drag down the majority of the coins as well with it. So if you guys bought here on this particular bounce, awesome, you guys got yourself a really nice reward here. I mean, we're talking like over a 20% reward there, right? So I just want to give you guys a very quick update with where I stand on Litecoin right now. We currently stand right at the 618 Fibonacci level. If we actually look at Bitcoin as well, what we see Bitcoin doing is it's also trending right on the 618 Fibonacci region. Now, it doesn't mean it's always going to bounce exactly when we get there, but there's a really strong chance that we're going to get some sort of slight uptrend before Bitcoin actually corrects further, right? I do believe Bitcoin will most likely head to, you know, the 7,600, 7.8K region right there. So if it ends up uptrending a tiny bit, what we'll end up seeing Litecoin do is, you know, retrace a fairly decent amount as well. And the way we're going to take a Litecoin projection is from the peak of the swing high right over here. And, you know, if we project that Bitcoin could retrace anywhere up to the 382 to 618 level, we can also see that Litecoin has a decent chance of doing the exact same thing here as well, right? So hopefully we end up correcting exactly to this region between 173.53 to about 177, right around there. What we notice about Litecoin is it's now trending to almost oversold regions already, right? If we look at the 2-hour chart, we're seeing it trend very low RSI here as well. I mean, hopefully this will end up just breaking, and then we see it snap out of this particular wedge type pattern right now, right? That would be very ideal for us to see. Based on candlestick analysis, what we see is a fairly good doji / hammer style candle that recently formed 2 hours ago. So that's looking pretty decent. We're getting a many different series of rejections to the downside. Every time it goes down below 163, you know, it peaks down to 161-ish, right? And then it bounces right back now for the past few hours, which is a fairly good sign. We see a lot of it leveling off here as well, right? We see definitely leveling off. Hopefully this doesn't become like a descending triangle on the 1-hour chart, and then we just end up downtrending more. Hopefully this is actually seen as a support rather than a descending triangle. The 1 hour looks like it may want to cross over sometime very soon. We just got to be extremely patient about that. We look on the 45-minute chart, and what we see is a series of, excuse me. I just gotta get rid of that there really quickly. So we see here, whoa, what is this here? That's so weird. Okay, does this work now? No, that doesn't work. That is so weird what it's doing right now. Do you guys see that? I can't really make a line. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I can actually make it here now. Okay, perfect. So we see a bullish series of divergence right here according to the RSI, right? Which is good. Despite us getting lower lows here, we're actually gaining strength in the market, which is a really good sign as well. So if we counted this as perhaps our waves, I believe there's still one more wave down, just like Bitcoin. So let's just actually test this theory to see if there's another wave coming down. Just for yeah, most likely there's going to be another wave down, but you know it's very possible for us to uptrend a small wave just right after this starts to cross. If we look on the histogram here, we see it bullishly diverging as well. It's just a matter of time. We have to be extremely patient. I entered a position as well. My position is between 161.5 and about 162, so I'm up right now on it. But once again, right, it's all depending on Bitcoin right now and where it goes. So we see it ticking up positively to the histogram side, which is not bad on the 30-minute chart. On a very low time frame 15-minute chart, right, we're seeing it many wicks to the downside. It's just a matter of being extremely patient to see what we can actually do. Maybe there's going to be one more wave down. Maybe we'll get to the 158 region that I was mentioning earlier. So it's up to you guys to dollar cost average your buys. Now I want to talk about the most recent support ranges, right? A clear support range would be around the 157 to 163 range where we are right now. But if that actually ends up failing, guys, we're gonna have to end up looking at a lower region, which is right around the 145, 143 region right here. So I just thought I'd keep you guys updated with where I stand right now. We're still fairly bearish, I guess, but I do believe that it's making an attempt to break to the upside right here, and it's going to keep making these series of small attempts to the upside. So I'll keep you guys updated later tonight. If you guys got into a position around 161, 162 range right there, you just got to be extremely patient just to see how the market is going to go, all right? Make sure you're keeping your stop loss fairly tight. My stop loss is going to be around 160, probably around, actually, you know what? I'm in a position for Litecoin. I believe that 158, it'll most likely bounce from there. But if it does correct much further downwards to the 145 range, I'll most likely cut my losses like around 157 maybe, right? 157, and then I'll just simply buy back around the 143, 145 range. That's what we've got to do. We've got to come to terms that, the correction could not be over yet. If it's not over, we simply have to cut our losses. But if you're in it for the very long term, it's up to you guys what you decide to do, okay? I might end up just riding the whole storm and just keep the Litecoin that I have and just accept the fact that I'm actually bullish on it long term, and we might even end up getting to the 400 ranges in a few months. So we got to remember that there's a lot of potential for coins like Litecoin, right? So other than that, I just want to give you guys a very quick afternoon 7-minute update here in Litecoin. It's looking pretty good. We found some fairly solid support right now. Just waiting on Bitcoin to start making its attempt upwards right now. My stop loss for Bitcoin is around $8,000 in case we do downtrend to the 7,600 range because I'm a day trader. My stop loss for Litecoin as well is roughly 158. Or sorry, 156, 157 I'd more say. If it goes down to the 145 range because Bitcoin corrects heavily, then we're definitely going to see further correction with Litecoin as well. If we end up uptrending with Bitcoin, like how I believe it will end up uptrending, well, we got a really good chance to hit those specific ranges that I mentioned earlier. And that range right there will be between, just to show you guys really quickly again here, could be between, where was it here? Oh, I took the wrong fib level. Could be between 173 and 177. So make sure you guys please stick to your stop losses, and remember that without risk, there's no possibility of reward, right? We have to take these types of risks, and there's never any guarantees that we're going to be successful with our trade. All that we can do is find these high probability setups, and this one is definitely a fairly decent one, which is why I took it. Entered right around here. Stop loss around $158. Target roughly 173, and I thought of this all ahead of time. That's why I entered it, right? Am I down for a risk to reward ratio of 3.09? Absolutely. If it hits up to this range with an even more aggressive approach, we'd be looking at 9.23% gain with a 4.03 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So please make sure you guys remember these targets, stick to your stop losses. Nothing is ever a guaranteed thing. Without risk, there's no possibility of reward. So we're just going to keep it to that for now, and I'll keep you guys updated later tonight. So this was a very, very quick 5-minute update. Have yourselves a great day now. Bye.